Welcome to the MRO Master Data Management 101 certification course. This course is designed to equip you with the knowledge and skills necessary to create, edit, and manage MRO master data effectively within your organization. MRO master data is the cornerstone of many business processes, and managing it correctly is crucial for the smooth operation of your organization. Whether you're just starting out in the field or you're an experienced professional looking to refine your skills, this course will provide you with the tools you need to succeed. By the end of this course, you'll understand the principles of data management, governance, and quality, and you'll be prepared to apply these principles in your daily work. This course takes approximately 30 minutes to complete and is followed by a certificate exam. This course is divided into 7 chapters: Introduction to MRO Master Data, Master Data Governance, Data Creation and Editing, Data Cleansing and Normalization, Data Management and Maintenance, Case Studies and Practical Application, Assessment, Certification, and Continuing Education. Let's dive in. Chapter 1: Introduction to MRO Master Data. To start, let's explore what MRO Master Data is and why it plays such a pivotal role in your organization. MRO Master Data can be thought of as the DNA of your supply chain, manufacturing, and maintenance processes. It consists of all the detailed information about the indirect materials your company procures, issues, stocks, and receives. This data includes attributes like material number, description, category, material group, and codification, among others. Each of these attributes serves as a specific function, helping to ensure that your materials are managed efficiently across various business operations. Let's break down the attributes mentioned a little more. Material number is a unique identifier that distinguishes one material from another. This number is critical for tracking materials throughout their life cycle, from procurement to use to replenishment. The description provides a clear, concise explanation of what the material is, often including important details like dimensions or material composition. The attributes indicate the values associated with the material like size, type, and materials. The attribute values allow the users to search and select the materials required for their specific use. The material group helps categorize materials based on their characteristics or usage, making it easier to manage large volumes of data. And the valuation class ties the material to specific accounting entries, ensuring that financial transactions related to the material are recorded correctly. MRO Master Data is deeply integrated with other ERP modules such as Material Management, Production Planning, Sales and Distribution, and Warehouse Management. For instance, in the Material Management module, material data is used to plan and execute procurement processes. In the Production Planning module, it supports production planning and scheduling. In the Sales and Distribution module, it enables accurate sales order processing and delivery. And in the Warehouse Management module, it helps manage inventory and warehouse operations. Given its critical role, it's easy to see how errors in MRO master data can have significant consequences. Poor quality data can lead to a wide range of issues, from incorrect procurement orders to production delays, excess inventory, stockouts, and even financial inaccuracies. For example, if the wrong category is entered for a material, it could result in ordering the wrong item, which could either tie up working capital or lead to excessive production downtime. Common errors in MRO master data include inaccurate category assignment, duplicate entries, inconsistent naming conventions, and incorrect attribute values, among other issues. These errors often arise from manual data entry or from a lack of standardized processes. For example, if two different users create records for the same material but use slightly different names or descriptions, it can create confusion and inefficiencies in downstream processes. On the screen, you can see two users have entered the same bearing ball in different ways, making it appear that they are two separate items. This can lead to the item being double stocked or stored in multiple locations, as well as other issues. To prevent these issues, it's important to establish and adhere to best practices for data management, which we'll cover in detail throughout this course. Chapter 2, Master Data Governance. Next, let's talk about the concept of master data governance, a critical component of effective MRO master data management. Master data governance is the framework of policies, procedures, and roles that ensure your MRO master data is accurate, consistent, and aligned with your organization's overall goals. In other words, it's about establishing rules and guidelines that everyone in your organization must follow when creating, editing, and managing material data. In industries that rely heavily on maintenance, repair, and operations, such as manufacturing or utilities, effective data governance is particularly important. MRO data includes the materials needed to maintain and repair assets, things like spare parts, tools, and supplies. Poor quality MRO data can lead to issues like unplanned downtime, increased maintenance costs, and inefficiencies in inventory management. One of the key roles in data governance is the data steward. As little as 10 years ago, the data steward position in MRO materials was almost non-existent. Nowadays, data stewards are responsible for ensuring the quality and integrity of the data within their domain. They are the guardians of data quality, tasked with monitoring data entry, performing regular audits, and addressing any issues that arise. Another critical role is the data owner. Data owners are usually senior level managers who are responsible for ensuring that the data meets the needs of the business. They make strategic decisions about how data is managed and used, ensuring that it aligns with organizational goals. Governance committees oversee the entire data governance framework. These committees are typically composed of stakeholders from different parts of the organization, including IT, operations, finance, maintenance, and procurement. They set the policies and standards for data management, resolve disputes, and ensure that everyone adheres to the established guidelines. One of the most important aspects of data governance is establishing data policies and standards. These policies define how data should be created, maintained, and used. For example, a naming convention policy might specify that all material descriptions must follow a particular format, such as starting with the material type followed by its dimensions and material composition. Adhering to these conventions ensures that data is consistent, making it easier to search, sort, and analyze. Data standards might also include rules for data validation and approval processes. For instance, before a new material can be added to the system, it might need to be reviewed and approved by a data steward or a data owner. This ensures that the data meets the required standards before it is used in business processes. Compliance and audit requirements are also key components of data governance. Regular audits help ensure that your MRO master data remains accurate and up to date. Audits involve reviewing the data for inconsistencies, errors, and deviations from established standards. For example, an audit might involve checking for duplicate entries, verifying that all like materials have the same code, or ensuring that descriptions follow the approved naming conventions. Audits also help ensure compliance with external regulations and internal policies. For example, if your organization operates in a highly regulated industry, you may be required to maintain accurate records of all materials for a certain period. Regular audits ensure that you're meeting these requirements and that your data is ready for inspection if needed. Master data governance is not a one-time project, but an ongoing process. It requires continuous monitoring, review, and improvement to adapt to changing business needs and ensure that your data remains a valuable asset to your organization. Chapter 3: Data Creation and Editing. Now that we've covered the importance of governance, let's move on to the practical aspects of data creation and editing. Creating MRO master data is not just about filling in fields in an ERP system. It's about ensuring that the data accurately reflects the materials your organization uses and that it supports the needs of your business processes. Before you start creating data, it's crucial to understand the business requirements. This means gathering input from all relevant stakeholders, including procurement, production, and maintenance, to ensure that the data meets their needs. For example, the procurement team might need detailed part number and manufacturer information, while the maintenance team might require specific attributes to ensure accurate search functionality. When entering data, it's important to follow proper data entry techniques. This includes double-checking information before saving it, using standardized formats, and ensuring that all required fields are completed. For example, if you're entering a new raw material into the system, make sure you include the correct category, part number, and attribute values. Ensuring accuracy and consistency is essential for high-quality data. One of the best ways to achieve this is by using templates or forms that guide users through the data entry process. These templates can include predefined fields, drop-down menus, and validation rules that help users enter data correctly. Once data is created, it needs to be validated and verified to ensure that it meets the required standards. Validation involves checking that the data conforms to the rules and logic defined by your organization. For example, you might have a validation rule that ensures that all dimensions in a certain category must have a specific signature. If a user tries to enter a different unit or formatting, the system will flag it as an error and prevent the data from being saved. In our example, a user in IMA's UManage Pro tries to enter the inside diameter of an item 22 mmID without the space between the 22 and mm, which triggers a notification and correction to the format. There are various tools and techniques for data validation. Automated checks within your ERP or CMMS can catch common errors such as missing fields or incorrect formats. Manual review processes, on the other hand, involve a data steward or another responsible person reviewing the data to ensure it meets the required standards. Automatic checks can be very useful to ensure data consistency upon entry, but you'll likely still need to incorporate some level of manual review in your organization for the continual review of overall data quality. Editing and updating MRO master data requires a careful and controlled approach. Whenever you make changes to existing data, you need to ensure that the changes are tracked and recorded accurately. This is where version control and audit trails come into play. Version control ensures that you can track changes to the data over time, while audit trails provide a record of who made the changes and when. For example, if you update the description of a material, the system should log the change, including the old and new descriptions, the date of the change, and the name of the person who made the update. This not only helps maintain data integrity, but also provides a valuable history that can be used for audits and compliance purposes. In summary, effective data creation and editing require a combination of good practices, validation, and careful management. By following these steps, you can ensure that your MRO master data is accurate, consistent, and reliable. Chapter 4: Data Cleansing and Normalization. Next, let's delve into data cleansing and normalization, two processes that are essential for maintaining high quality MRO master data. Data cleansing is the process of identifying and correcting inaccuracies, inconsistencies, and errors in your MRO master data. This is a critical step because even small errors can have significant consequences. For example, a typo in a material description could lead to confusion during procurement, resulting in the wrong materials being ordered or received. On the screen, you'll see that while a B90V belt and BX90V belt are only one letter away, that letter makes a big difference in what item you receive. Accuracy in entry here is essential. There are several common issues that data cleansing addresses. These include duplicate records, incorrect category assignment, missing attributes, and outdated information. For instance, if your system contains multiple records for the same material with slightly different names or descriptions, data cleansing will help identify and, if desired, merge these duplicates into a single accurate record. Normalization is closely related to data cleansing, but focuses on standardizing data across your system. This involves ensuring that all data follows a consistent format and adheres to predefined standards. For example, normalization might involve standardizing manufacturing names across all records or ensuring that all material descriptions follow a specific format. One of the key aspects of normalization is standardizing descriptions. This is important because it ensures that your data is consistent and easy to search. For example, if you have a material that is sometimes described as stainless steel bolt and other times as SS bolt, normalization would standardize the description so that it's consistent across all records. Mapping data to standardized taxonomies is another critical aspect of normalization. Taxonomies, such as the United Nations Standard Products and Services Code, provide a standardized way of categorizing materials. By mapping your MRO data to these taxonomies, you ensure that it's consistent not only within your organization, but also with industry standards. This can be particularly important if you're working with suppliers or customers who also use these standards. There are several tools and technologies available to assist with data cleansing and normalization. At IMA Limited, we use a tool called UManage Pro, which is specifically designed to help with data governance and cleansing. UManage Pro allows you to automate many of the processes involved in data cleansing and normalization, making it easier to maintain high-quality data across your organization. For example, UManage Pro can automatically identify and merge duplicate records, validate data against predefined rules, and standardize descriptions. By leveraging tools like UManage Pro, you can significantly reduce the time and effort required to cleanse and normalize your data, while also improving its accuracy and consistency. In summary, data cleansing and normalization are essential processes for maintaining high-quality MRO master data. By regularly cleansing and normalizing your data, you can ensure that it remains accurate, consistent, and aligned with your organization's needs. Chapter 5: Data Management and Maintenance. Effective data management doesn't end once your data is created and cleansed. Ongoing maintenance is essential to ensure that your MRO master data remains accurate and up to date. One of the key components of data maintenance is conducting regular data audits and reviews. The purpose of an audit is to help you identify and correct issues before they become significant problems. An audit might involve reviewing your MRO master data to identify any records with missing or outdated information. This process ensures that your data remains accurate and reliable over time. There are several techniques for identifying data quality issues during audits. One common technique is data profiling, which involves analyzing your data to identify patterns, anomalies, and trends. For example, data profiling might reveal that certain materials have unusually high or low inventory levels, which could indicate an issue with the data or with the underlying business processes. If you use 10 belts a year but profiling shows you have 100 in stock, that might tell you that you've been over ordering or not properly entering data. Another important aspect of data management is managing data over its life cycle. This involves implementing clear policies for data archiving, retention, and disposal. For example, you might have a policy that requires certain types of material data to be archived after a specified period, such as 5 years, and then disposed of after 10 years. Data archiving ensures that old or inactive data is moved out of the active database, reducing clutter and improving system performance. However, archived data must still be accessible for reporting and compliance purposes, so it's important to have a well-organized archiving system in place. End-of-life data management strategies are also crucial for managing data throughout its life cycle. As materials are phased out or replaced, their corresponding data must be properly managed. This might involve deactivating the material in the system, updating its status to obsolete, or even deleting the record if it's no longer needed. Finally, continuous improvement in data quality is achieved through feedback loops. These feedback loops involve regularly collecting and acting on user feedback, audit findings, and other sources of input to improve your data management practices. For example, if users report that certain material descriptions are unclear or inconsistent, you can use this feedback to update and standardize these descriptions. Incorporating user feedback into data management is essential for maintaining high-quality data. Users who interact with MRO master data daily are often the first to notice issues or inconsistencies. By encouraging users to provide feedback and acting on it promptly, you can continuously improve the quality of your data. In summary, effective data management and maintenance require a proactive approach that includes regular audits, clear lifecycle management policies, and continuous improvement through feedback loops. By following these practices, you can ensure that your MRO master data remains accurate, consistent, and valuable to your organization. Chapter 6: Case Studies and Practical Application. To bring everything together, let's look at some real-world examples and practical applications of the concepts we've covered. Case studies provide valuable insights into how effective data management practices can benefit an organization. For example, consider a manufacturing company that implemented a comprehensive data governance framework, including regular audits and standardized naming conventions. As a result, the company was able to reduce duplicate records by 90%, improve procurement accuracy, and reduce inventory carrying costs by 15%. These improvements not only streamlined operations, but also resulted in significant cost savings. Another example might involve a company that struggled with poor quality MRO data. This company had frequent issues with unplanned downtime and excessive maintenance costs due to incorrect or outdated material data. After implementing a data cleansing and normalization initiative, the company saw a dramatic improvement in asset uptime and a reduction in maintenance costs. Lessons learned from common mistakes are just as valuable as success stories. For instance, one common mistake is failing to establish clear naming conventions for material descriptions. Without standardized descriptions, it can be difficult to search for and identify materials, leading to inefficiencies in procurement and inventory management. Another mistake is neglecting to validate data before it's entered into the system. This can result in a high number of errors and inconsistencies, which can be time consuming and costly to correct later. By learning from these mistakes and implementing best practices, you can avoid similar pitfalls in your own organization. Hands on exercises are a great way to apply what you've learned in a controlled environment. For example, you might simulate the process of creating and cleansing MRO master data. This could involve entering data for a new material, validating it against predefined rules, and then using a tool like UManage Pro to cleanse and standardize the data. Group exercises can also reinforce key concepts and encourage collaboration. You might work in small groups to review and cleanse a set of MRO master data, discussing the challenges you encounter and the strategies you use to address them. These exercises provide valuable practical experience and help solidify your understanding of the material. In summary, case studies and practical exercises are essential for reinforcing the concepts covered in this course. By learning from real-world examples and applying what you've learned in hands-on activities, you'll be better prepared to manage MRO master data effectively in your own organization. Chapter 7: Assessment, Certification, and Continuing Education. The knowledge assessment is a short exam that consists of multiple choice and scenario-based questions designed to evaluate your grasp of key concepts in MRO master data management. You might be asked to identify the correct steps for validating data, select the best approach for normalizing material descriptions, or apply what you've learned to a real-world scenario. To pass the assessment, you'll need to meet the required score identified on the exam. If you pass, you will receive a certificate stating your completion of the course and exam. The certification is a recognition of your expertise in MRO master data management and demonstrates your ability to manage data effectively in a professional setting. Issuance of certificates will follow for all participants who successfully pass the certification. This certificate not only acknowledges your proficiency but also enhances your professional credentials, making you a valuable asset to any organization that relies on high-quality MRO master data. To review the study guide for this course, click the link below. If you're ready to take the exam, click the appropriate link. Finally, let's talk about continuing education and recertification. Your journey in MRO master data management doesn't end with this certification. In fact, it's just the beginning. Continuing education is essential for staying up to date with the latest trends, tools, and best practices in data management. There are a range of ongoing learning opportunities, including webinars, workshops, and refresher courses. These programs are designed to keep your skills sharp and ensure that you remain at the forefront of MRO master data management. For example, a webinar might cover new developments in data governance or provide tips for using the latest data management tools. As new tools and techniques emerge, it's important to stay informed and continually refine your skills. This is why recertification may be required periodically. Recertification ensures that your knowledge remains current and that you continue to meet the high standards required for effective data management. The recertification process typically involves completing additional coursework or assessments, as well as staying engaged with the latest developments in the field. By participating in continuing education and maintaining your certification, you'll remain a valuable asset to your organization and ensure that your data management practices continue to deliver results. Thank you for participating in the MRO Master Data Management 101 certification course. We've covered a lot of ground in this course, from the fundamentals of MRO master data to the intricacies of data governance, creation, editing, cleansing, and ongoing maintenance. By mastering these concepts and applying the best practices we've discussed, you'll be well equipped to manage MRO master data effectively in your organization. Remember, high quality data is not just a technical requirement, it's a strategic asset that drives operational efficiency, cost savings, and informed decision making. We hope this course has provided you with valuable insights and practical skills that you can apply in your daily work. Good luck with your certification exam, and we look forward to seeing you in future courses. This course is sponsored by Inventory Management Analysis Limited. IMA was founded in 1989 and provides world-class MRO data management, specializing in data cleansing, governance, and inventory optimization solutions. IMA has assisted manufacturing and asset-intensive organizations worldwide in their efforts to improve maintenance efficiency, reduce inventory costs, and optimize procurement performance. For more information, check out IMA's website at www.imaltd.com or contact info@imaltd.com.